The sun comes across the Jamaican landscape at a much lower angle this time of the year, bouncing off objects and colors with a nostalgic hue. The atmosphere is cooler overall, and in the evenings, there is that characteristic Christmas breeze. The traffic on the road has picked up a couple of gears, and people's driving habits have become more perilous. Christmas music chimes from every store and blares from all roadside sound systems. Christmas lights twinkle from homes and shopping malls alike. Advertisements on billboards, radios, television, and social media own in on the Christmas theme from many angles. Shopping, pixie gift giving, and Christmas partying are all the rave. Churches are putting on Christmas plays and Christmas concerts. Families are gathering. The whole society is abuzz with carrying out Christmas niceties and proclivities. The atmospherics, advertisements, and activities all point to this being a Christmas season as usual. And yet, this cannot be Christmas as usual for us as Jamaicans generally, Christians specifically, and Baptists more particularly. Not when so many Jamaicans remain under the throes of the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Not when so many Jamaicans in the high impact zone are so far from putting the pieces of their lives back together. Not when so many Jamaicans are still wrestling with the absence of basic necessities and amenities like shelter, income, food, water, electricity, communications, and security. Not when so many residential, agricultural, liturgical, educational, commercial, and other social spaces still bear the marks of Melissa's massacre. Not when so many who have lived through the battering carry the evidence of the trauma it left behind deep within them. Among us as Baptists, roughly 100 centers have seen the dislocation of people, the damage of structures, the destruction of others, and the disturbance of life. And in many of the more remote and cut-off places in our country, sustainable assistance has not yet become a reality. How can we, in good conscience, have Christmas as usual? Integrity in our Christian spirituality and solidarity in our common humanity suggests that we should continue to support our sisters and brothers in the areas especially battered by Melissa. We thank God for the support which overflowed subsequent to the passage of the hurricane 2 months ago, and which in large part has been sustained at a high level for a good while. Yet, with the Christmas upon us and the fatigue of 2 months of trekking back and forth wearing on us, we might slack off at this crucial time. This would be devastating to our brothers and sisters. It would also reflect poorly on our humanity and our practice of Christianity. There is no way we can allow this. We have to keep up our support for those in need and step up our support towards them achieving sustainability and dignity in their recovery to the point where they are no longer so dependent on material assistance. What are some of the ways that we should continue to support our sisters and brothers? Firstly, I suggest we continue to support with ourselves. We should do like the Macedonians did to help their neighbors in severely challenging circumstances. As the Apostle Paul indicated in 2 Corinthians 8, quote, "They gave themselves first to the Lord, and then by the will of God to us." Verse 5b. The result was a missional disposition in which they were able to give voluntarily, not just as they were able or expected to give, but, quote, even beyond their ability. Verse 3. If we, like them, give ourselves to God wholeheartedly, and then to the people in need holistically, we will be able to sustain the continuing help necessary to see them through this time. Secondly, I suggest that the natural outworking of giving ourselves will be for us to continue giving our supplies. The need for supplies to meet basic humanitarian needs remain and will continue for some time. However, we are approaching the point where we need to be thinking of a shift from supplies in the category of handouts to those in the category of help up, from supplies which reinforce dependency to supplies which facilitate independence. We should not just think food, we should also think seedlings and hatchlings so that they can restart growing food on their own. We should not just think of supplying resources, we should also think of resourcing income generation. Thirdly, we should give our social engagement. Our individual, family, church, and business sector assistance make an invaluable difference. The fact that we are all assisting in varied locations help to spread the contribution around. Still, the scope of what has been revealed by Melissa is of such that our individual and institutional help is too disjointed to have the society-wide impact that is required in the situation. What Melissa has made clear about fragility and disparity in the housing stock, the unpreparedness and precariousness of infrastructure, the lack of robustness and responsiveness in some early intervention systems, the slow acknowledgement of and engagement with psychosocial impacts, and the propensity for the weak and vulnerable to be left behind in the recovery process suggests the need for the kind of social engagement that would result in societal transformation. Social engagement towards societal transformation means advocacy for improvement and equity. It means offering to help bring change according to our ability. It means playing our part in ensuring accountability at all levels. And it means not letting up until things are done differently and appropriately. I know we desire to be light and festive for Christmas. Usually this time of year we want, at least for a while, to forget about our troubles. This year has to be Christmas with a difference. Melissa came at an unusual point in the year, just before the onset of what we call the season of good cheer. The 12 days of Christmas, December 25 to January 5, will not be good cheer for many in the hurricane's high impact belt, unless we give ourselves, our supplies, and our social engagement to the cause of the recovery that is needed. Individually, institutionally, and nationally, the coming of Christ brought about transformation of life and circumstances then and in an ongoing way. So, between the ham and the sweet potato pudding, between the sorrel and the rum punch, between the family gatherings and the friends get together, between the going to and the coming from church, let us celebrate Christmas this year in a way that ensures this kind of impact continues in our day. Have a blessed and impactful Christmas.